Hello everyone, hope you are fine, and I would like to welcome you once again in the slide narration. And today we have semantics as a topic, and the slide is named as Semantics in Language. I am Mohammad Nasim Firdos. I prepared you for this, and in order to prepare this, I have collected information from George Yule, Charles F. Mayer, and other sources. So let's see what we will have today in our contents. So here are our contents for this particular lecture. First, we will try to identify what is semantics and where can we find semantics, and then we'll be trying to explore conceptual and associative meaning, and then we'll look closely on the semantic features, and the slides will complete after we will have lexical relations. Whenever we will be referring relations, that means we will be referring the relations among the words. So we will have this kinds of relation at the end. So let's start with our first slide, which is on the semantics. Let's see what is semantics. Okay, we have very interesting sentence in the first slide, and that is the cow flies in the sky. Okay, I know it seems very funny. It seems that it doesn't happen in real life, only in an imaginary world, only in a fairy tale we can see that, but in real life, in naturally we don't say like this, we don't see like this. The cow flies in the sky. But what's the problem in this sentence? We have noun phrase, and then we have verb, and then we have another prepositional phrase. Prepositional phrase refers as this is the preposition, and we have here that is a noun phrase, and under noun we have article and noun. So that consists of noun phrase, and noun phrase and preposition consists of prepositional phrase, and verb plus prepositional phrase consists of verb phrase. And here we have D as article, and cow as noun that consists of noun phrase, and noun phrase and verb phrase consists a sentence. So if we analyze this particular sentence syntactically, then this particular sentence is absolutely fine. There is no problem in this sentence because it maintains all the structures which syntax refers to. But we know there is an issue, we know there is a problem in there. So what is the problem in there? Let's find out. Okay, here we know the cow doesn't fit with this verb, fly in the sky. Rather, we can say the bird flies in the sky, or the cow eats grass. Here the bird connects with this verb flies, and here cow connects with this verb eats. So if this particular noun affiliates this particular verb, then we concern that we understand that this is fine, this is a very good sentence, we know everything is fine in this sentence. Not in syntactically, but in other senses as well. And by referring other senses, we know whenever we are trying to identify the meaning of this particular noun, that is cow, with its animation, that means whether it can fly or not, we know that it cannot happen in real life. The cow cannot fly, so that's why the cow doesn't go with this particular verb flies. So that's the issue we are referring to, and this particular issue is going to be solved under semantics. So the problems which arise from syntax will be solved under semantics. So now, if we want to go to the theoretical background, if we want to go to the text, here it is. Semantics is the study of meaning of words, phrases, and sentences. So it's all about the meaning of words, phrases, and sentences. So under semantics, we will study what any particular word and its meaning, and that word or words can round to phrases or even round to sentences, and we will try to identify the meaning of those. And under semantics, we will only focus on conventional meaning. I repeat, under semantics, we will be focusing on conventional meaning. So what is conventional actually? Conventional refers as a dictionary meaning actually. Whenever you will find, you want to find a meaning, and you go to dictionary and find it, and the meaning it produces at the top is referred as conventional meaning. In other sense, we can say a world knowledge. So what does it mean by in the world? Everywhere you go, you have this particular one meaning. So that's what we are referring as conventional meaning, the regular meaning. It doesn't focus on speaker's meaning. The speaker can generate or can produce different meaning by referring the same sentences or maybe same words, but semantics will not look at that. Semantics will not study on speaker's meaning, rather it will focus on conventional meaning. So, according to George Wool, the study of semantics is typically focused on such topics as the meanings of individual words and the ability of words to refer to points in time or individuals in the external world. So, two issues we are referring under semantics. Number one, what the particular word or individual word means, and whether the particular word has the ability to show the connotation, to show the connection among with the other words, whether it has the ability to do the things or not. For example, we talked about the cow flies in the sky. We know that the cow doesn't have the ability to fly. So that's why the cow, these particular words, do not go with the verb flies. So that's why we are referring the ability of words. Let's have a table or chart to have better idea on this. After some slides. Conceptual meaning and associative meaning. Concepts, both particular structures are talking about the meaning. One is conceptual and another one is associative. What does conceptual and associative meaning refer to? First one we are referring as conceptual meaning, and conceptual meaning covers the basic essential components. So whenever we are going to or try to refer the literal meaning of a word, literal meaning, what does particular word mean? So that's what we are saying, that whenever we are referring the dictionaries, what does the dictionary mean? whenever we are referring a word. The example is in here. Whenever we are referring the word needle in English, we are referring thin, sharp steel instrument. We are referring this particular word means a thin, sharp steel instrument. So in order to understand this word, we have these connotations, and these are the conceptual meaning of this particular word. It is, if you will go for a dictionary, you will find this particular meaning in there. So whenever we'll be looking at conceptual meaning, we will be looking at the basic meaning, the essential component meaning, which we can find in the dictionary, and we'll be referring as needle. If anybody asks you about, please give me a needle, that means you are asked to provide the requester, the person who is requesting you, a thin, sharp steel instrument, which you can find. But under associative meaning, we do not refer the original word. Rather, we are talking about the associations. Associations means the other issues or other meaning related with the original word. For example, in here, in the previous slide, we referred as needle as steel instrument, thin, sharp steel instrument. But we can also refer needle to refer pain, maybe in a hospital, to refer illness. He needs a needle because he is ill, for blood as well, and drugs, trade, knitting, whenever you want to sing, maybe a shirt or dress or anything which is hard to find, especially in his state. For example, you are searching a needle in a huge space, and in that time it is referring as hard to find. But hard to find is a phrase where we can say this phrase like you are searching a needle in a space. That means you are finding something which is very hard to find. And these associations can be different from one person to another person. One person in one context will refer pain by referring needle, and another person in another context may refer hard to find by referring the word needle. But under linguistic semantics, we are more concerned about conceptual meaning. So we will be referring only to the basic conceptual meaning or conventional meaning of words or phrases or sentences. So the semantic features. So what are the features of semantics? In other words, we can say that we already know that semantics starts from syntactic limitations. So there are limitations. We are talking about this sentence. We know this sentence has issues. This sentence has limitations. Like the phrase "the cow" doesn't go with the word "flies." So that's limitation we are talking about, and that limitation can be found under syntax. And under semantics, we are solving that limitation, because the semantic features are categories those allow us to classify the meaning of a word. So whenever we will be trying or referring and the meaning of a word, we will be trying to understand this. So there will be categories which will classify the meaning of a word, and those meanings will have the ability to do or to act. So let's say about this capability of the subjects of or nouns or some other linguistic instrument, whether they have the ability to do or to act or not. So this particular table you will be able to find in your textbook, and that is by George Wool and Introduction to Language. And this particular chart is an illustration of a procedure for analyzing meaning in terms of semantic features. So whenever we will be analyzing semantic features, this particular chart will help us to do so. First one is animate, that means whether the subject or the particular thing which we are talking about has the ability to do the thing or not. That's what we are referring as animate. And we have human, and whether what can a human do. And then we have a female, this particular word, especially we will be looking only this word, female. And then we will have adult. And here these are the features, and here we will be looking at the subject or particular word that we are referring as table, horse, boy, man, girl, and woman. So these are the features as well. And if you want to look at dictionary about this particular word table or these words, the meaning you will find in the dictionary, we are talking about that. We are talking about the semantics by referring the dictionary meaning. Now, first let's start with the table, or we can start with animate as well. Whether table can do things or not. Can table do things? No. That's why it is minus. Can table be a human? Like, does table have the human features? Or can we say a female version of table or adult version? No. So that's why everything here is minus. Let's talk about here horse. I want your complete concentration in here because it can be tricky. You need to understand this. We are referring a horse, and we are referring whether horse by this one. We are not talking about yes, we are talking about the object as well. That means the real object in real life, we are talking about that as well. So we have two different things. One is this particular word, and another one is what we mean in our real world. So we have the connections between these two things. Then we will be trying to identify whether there is connection or not. So we know horse can do things. Horse can run, horse can eat, horse can sleep as well. So horse can do the things. So that's why whenever we are referring as animate, yes, we have these plus features. But whether it has the human features or not, no. For example, I can say the human and is overweight, or we can say the human and can marry to other human as well. But we cannot say the horse. We cannot replace the word horse in those sentences. Now, this is another one, tricky one. We have horse. We know horse is a female version, but if we're referring the female version of horse, we will not refer it as horse, rather we will be referring it as mare, M-A-R-E. So that means if we have that kind of sentence, we will be replacing this word horse with mare. So this particular word doesn't have the female feature. This particular one, we know in the real object it has the female version, and we call it as mare, but not in this word. And yes, whenever we are referring horse, we can refer it as an adult one, so that's why it is a plus. So if it has the feature, then we are referring it as plus, and if it doesn't have the feature, then we are referring it as minus. Boy, yes, boy can do things. Animate, yes, plus, yes, it has the human feature. By referring boy, you can say human as well. You cannot say it is an animal, so you can say female version. No, it has not a female version. If we referred as the female version of boy, we should have referred as girl, not boy. You cannot say any sentence which will be referred as girl by replacing boy. We can do that. And of course we cannot say adult as well, because whenever that person is adult, that boy is adult, we cannot refer that person as boy, rather a man. So here you will find, yes, element feature, man, yes, man can do things, plus man has the human feature, plus no, it doesn't have the female version, a female feature. Female version is woman, we know that, but it doesn't have the female feature, so we will not be referring it as a plus, so it is a minus. And then yes, it has a adult feature. Whenever we're referring man, we can say anything referring as the adult one. And then girl, yes, it has element feature, it has a human feature, it has it is female, of course, so it has the female feature, but we cannot refer it as adult, because by referring girl we cannot say any adult related sentence with this particular word girl. But in the word woman, we know the woman has ability to do things, so animate, that's why it is a tick. Yes, woman is a human, so we can refer it as a tick as well. Female version, yes, female, and adult as well, so all classes in there. So now let's talk about maybe other things. Computer, for example, computer. So does computer do things? Yes, do things, but it doesn't do by itself. So we'll be referring as animate, yes, minus. Human, no, it is not human, so minus. Female, no, it is not female, minus. Adult, no, it is not an adult, there is no adult issue in computer in there. So that's how we will be referring as the word. For example, let me give you another example which will make you more clear. If I refer this particular sentence, all kings are female, can we say that? No. Why not? Because whenever we are referring kings, it doesn't have the female feature, so that's why we cannot say all kings are female. Rather than we can say either all queens are female or all kings are male. But we can say all kings are human, all kings are adult. No, in some senses we cannot say all kings are adult as well. So that's what we are referring by referring semantic features. So now lexical relations. So we need the relationship among the words in a phrase or in a sentence in order to understand the meaning. So lexical relations studies on that, because semantics believes that words are not only the containers of meaning or as fulfilling roles in events, they can also have relationships with each other. So we are talking about relationships among words in the phrases or the sentence. So we often explain meanings of words in terms of their relationships. So what is the relationship among the words? For example, conceal and hide has the same meaning. So if you don't understand the word conceal, I often use hide to explain the word conceal. Or if you don't understand about the word shallow, I will say it is just opposite the word of deep. That's how I will be referring the meaning of words or phrases or sentences. So that's what we are referring. So shallow has the connection of these words. Conceal has the connection of these words. So those relationships we are looking at. The semantic description of language is treated as the analysis of lexical relations. So in a language we have this kind of description, we have this kind of relationship, and under lexical relation we will be analyze those. And here is the diagram, here is the chart which will help us to understand the relationship. First we have three major sections. I should not tell you there are three sections, three categories, rather there are more categories, but we'll be looking only this major three. First one is synonymy and antonymy and hyponymy. Under synonymy we will have true synonymy, close synonymy and partial synonymy. Under antonymy we will have true antonymy, reciprocal antonymy, gradual antonymy, and one-to-many antonymy. And under hyponymy it has some other categorical section. It is more hierarchical, rather in contrast to synonym and antonym. So what is synonym? Two or more words with very closely related meanings are called synonyms. So you know about the synonyms. Synonyms refer as the similar words, closely related words. Often they can be substituted, but not always. They can be substituted, but not always. So whenever we are referring sameness of meaning, it doesn't necessarily refer as totally similar. It doesn't mean that everything is exactly the same. There can be a little bit of difference in there, but the main thing is that we're referring very closely related words. So under synonymy we will be trying to show the similar relationship among words in a phrase or sentences. So sometimes synonymous replacement depends on appropriateness in the sentence. We can say that whether it is appropriate or not. For example, answer and reply have the same meaning, but you cannot replace answer in every section of reply. For example, in your traditional examination, whenever you are writing on your copies, so sometimes you are writing at the top of every answer is that answer to the question. So you are not writing. You usually do not write the reply of question now. So because of the appropriateness in that particular phrase. And then also we will have formal and informal use, or formalness or informalness, in order to replace those words. Still, though they are similar, though they are very synonymous, but still we need to identify the context, that is the linguistic context, before replacing the words. So here we have these three categories of synonym: true synonyms, close synonym, and partial synonym. True synonyms, when they are exactly same, there is nothing different in there. Whenever you are referring uncle, you are referring brothers of one's father, brothers of one's father, or brother of one's father. That would be more appropriate. So they're very similar. Whenever you are referring true synonym, we are referring exactly same. And we are referring close synonym, they are very close. That means they are not exactly similar, but they are very close, like war and battle. War and battle both have the similar meaning, but there are some situations where those things can be different. And then under partial synonym, we know that we can replace chicken and in lieu of hen. For example, whenever you are going to a restaurant and you want to have some chicken, and you refer that give me some 2 pieces of chicken, rather saying that give me some 2 pieces of hen. So you are replacing that. So I know that though these words differ, but still we can replace these words in different contexts. Intentionally, I made this blank. There should be another example in there, but these gaps will be completed by you. Let me know what you have written in here. So then we have antonyms. We know that antonyms means that two forms with opposite meanings are called antonyms. So whenever we will have exactly opposite meaning, we will be referring as antonym. So we have four categories: true antonym, reciprocal antonym, gradual antonym, and one-to-many antonym. So true antonym, that means whenever the words are exactly opposite. For example, false or true. And if it is false, and we can say the exactly different thing, exactly opposite thing, we can refer it as a true or false. Reciprocal, where we are saying that, for example, go doesn't go, come doesn't come. Rather, we are saying that go or come for different one, for opposite direction. That's why we are referring at it as reciprocal antonym. And then gradual antonym, when we have sections, one section and another section and then another section, but still it has a different meaning. For example, big or small, because then gradually it is opposite to the word big, medium, and small. For example, XL, L, XLX or L, or XLL or M. So these kinds of gradual thing, big, medium, and small. So that's what we are referring as the gradual one. And then one-to-many, that means that in particular word that there are many other antonyms in there. For example, sweet, we can replace or we can produce bitter, sour, and hot as the antonyms of sweet. And as I said in the previous slide, I have intentionally made it blank for you, as you can produce more examples of these categories of antonyms. And we have another one, hyponymy, which refers the relationship among the words. And whenever we are referring hyponymy, we are referring meaning of one form is included in the meaning of another. We are referring the relationship, and that relationship is described as hyponymy. So meaning of one form which is included in meaning of another. What is that? How can we have meaning of one form in meaning of another? Can we have the section like you have in here, maybe in A, and you have this kind of meaning, and you have B in here, but this particular meaning of B can be inserted under A. Can you do that? Yes, we can do that, and that study is referred under hyponymy. And during considering hyponymous connections, we are essentially looking at the meaning of words in some type of hierarchical relationship. Yes, that's what we are referring. Hierarchical means whenever we have a status and hierarchy. For example, we have first one A, and then under A we have B and C, and under B we have D, E, F, and under C we have G, we have H. This hierarchical relationship we are referring, and hyponymous connections are referring this hierarchical relationship. The relation of a hyponymy captures the concept of is a kind of. So it's the concept of is a kind of. What does that mean, is a kind of? For example, a poodle is a kind of dog. Okay, let me know in the forum about the categories of dog. How many types of dogs, or how many generations? Can I refer generation? No, I cannot refer. I mean, types of dogs. Okay, types of dogs. We have one in poodle. So another name is bulldog and shepherd. Yes, as far as I don't know very much about dogs, but maybe you can do that. So please let me know how much. How many categories can you identify of a dog? So a poodle is a kind of dog. You can say that. And this particular relationship between the poodle and a kind of dog is referred under hyponymy. So that's what we are referring to hyponymy. So let's see the hierarchical relationship. So here is the hierarchical relationship. We are referring, first one is living thing, and living here referred as creature and plant. That means which can move and which cannot move. And under creature we can refer as the animal, and another is insect. And animal we can refer as dog, horse, and snake. And under dog we can refer as poodle, and under snake we can refer as asp. And under insect we can refer as ant and cockroach as well. And under plant we can have vegetable, flower, tree. And under vegetable we can refer carrot, rose. Under tree we can refer banyan and pine. So the thing is that we can say asp is a living thing, snake is a living thing, animal is a living thing, creature is a living thing, or anything from here to this hierarchical relationship, even from here, anything. So we can go from down to up at the top as well, but we cannot change the categories. Like we cannot say carrot is a flower. We cannot say that. We cannot say rose is a vegetable. We cannot say that. But we can say rose is a plant, rose is a flower. We cannot say rose is a tree, rather it is a plant. And we cannot say horse is a dog. We cannot say asp is a horse, is one kind of horse. We cannot say that. We cannot say ant is an animal, but we can say ant is an insect, ant is a creature, ant is a living thing. But we cannot change that. We cannot say ant is a cockroach as well. So that's what we refer to by referring hyponymy. Hyponymy refers the relationship of these categories. Okay, so we are at the verge, we are at the very end. So by referring semantics, we are referring the meaning, we are referring the linguistics relationship, we are referring what does that particular words mean in context of other words. So it is all about exploring the meaning in a language, rather what it is being used whenever it is used in a conversation. So it only exists in a language. So we are referring linguistic context in here. So we refer semantics as the linguistic meaning, the meaning which we can find in the dictionary. So hope you have concentrated hard, because your assignments and quiz will more dependent on this particular slide narration. So if you have not concentrated hard yet, so please go back and try to capture the information again. And if you have, okay, let's go for the last section. So here are the references. Thank you. I have taken these references, and that's what we are talking about actually. If you have any question, please do ask in forum. Please go slide by slide. If you have the ability to give a pause and listen and replay and understand. So if you still don't understand anything, put your question in the forums. I will be waiting there. So thank you very much for everything, for joining. Thank you very much.